Hello friends, welcome to the new video. This video is on Paginated Report about cascading parameters. I did a video a long time ago on cascading parameters, how you can, in Paginated Report, if you're connected to Power BI semantic model, that how you can pass cascading parameters. For example, first parameter is select the customers, and the second parameter is just give the list of products that are sold to those customers which are selected in the first parameters. I will share the link of that video in the description of this video. This is the second video, and the reason why I'm doing this video because I did couple of sessions on Paginated Reports, and some of the people asked me this question: hey, you have like a customer and then product. How about we want to switch? If we select product and then list that customer. So they want to give the choice to the user. It's not like two different reports, like one is customer then product and the other one is first product then customer. They want one single report, and first parameter could be customer, and the person should be able to switch between what is the first parameter and what is going to be the dependent second parameter. And this video is all about talking about how we can achieve that. Also, I want to point out a name, Angela Walker. Actually, she just followed up with me. I promised that I will do this video some point of time. She followed up with me a few days ago and she said, hey, where is the video? So thanks for reaching out again. And this is truly I'm doing because your email has actually now inspired me to do this video. Thanks for your interest. So let's get to how we're going to achieve this. So if you look at this, I just before we do the solutioning, I just want to walk through the process which I followed, how we're going to do it. So I have this simple PowerPoint here. So what we will do in Paginated Report, we will have one parameter, the first parameter, which will have the choice customer then product and product then customer, right? Depending on how you want to label it. But that what first parameter will be, user will pick that. And then the subsequent parameters, parameter 1 and parameter 2 will switch between customer and product depending on what the choice has been made in this particular first parameter. So how it's supposed to work, so let's say the user selected customer then product. So our first parameter will list all the customers from our semantic model, and the second parameter will list the products which are sold to that customer. That would be the choice if the first choice has been made. Similarly, if a user selected product then customer, so then what will happen? The first parameter will list all the products, and the second parameter will list all the customers which has purchased those selected products. So this is how we're gonna achieve this. So that's kind of the process I followed to do the solutioning around this particular question. So I'm here quickly jumping to semantic model. Give me 1 second. So this is a semantic model which I have used in my Paginated Report videos. Basically, what you have is sales, calendar, product, and then customers. So it's pretty standard, simple model. I have published this model, of course, in Power BI service, and Paginated Report is connected to that. Again, this video is all about using semantic model. I think you can use this solution in other areas as well, but my Paginated Reports are mainly focused on when you're working with semantic model, what things you need, Paginated Report with semantic model, what things you should be taking care of. So I use this DAX query view just to explain how that is going to work, and then eventually all that thing will switch to Paginated Report. So in Paginated Report, I created a simple query, and that will return a parameter label and parameter value. So if I run this query, hang on a second. So if I run this query, it's pretty simple, the DAX query. So I have two columns in this. One is parameter label and then parameter value. So that's what I'm using it, and I'm sorting it by parameter value. So depending on what you want to do, so this is what I'm using: customer then product and product then customer. So this is the first thing, right? So we will have the first parameter of our Paginated Report, which will be based on this particular parameter, this particular table. Now Assuming, I'm going to show you guys an example here in the data before we go to paginated report. So assuming the user has made the first selection, customer then products, it means we have two more parameters in our paginated report. Let me just quickly show you guys here as well. Let me bring paginated report into the screen. So when I say parameter 1 and parameter 2, so here it is select parameter order, which is just the table I showed you, which we will create with the DAX query. And the first parameter value will switch depending on what we have selected in the parameter order, whether customer or product, and the second parameter value will change also depending on what we have selected. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, parameter 1 and parameter 2, because we can't label these parameters because we don't know what the user has selected. So it's a select first parameter, select second parameter, kind of is the label of the parameters. We can't make it dynamic, unfortunately. So this is my first parameter, which allows the user to click the select or the parameter order. So our query would be depending on what user has selected. So if user has, I said, given the example, if user has selected customer then product, what would happen is the first parameter value will list all the customer, as I said. So I'm just giving an example here. The parameter order is 1. Again, that parameter order means this value 1 has been selected. So then I'm creating a table called customer. So where I'm saying give me list of filter customer table where parameter order is 1, and the label I want to call, because I'm selecting the column from the dim customer table, I want the parameter label. When I'm saying label, this is the value which will show in the parameter in the paginated report. So I'm taking the dim customer, right? So this is the one variable I'm creating, and then the other variable I'm creating var table product. So what I'm saying here is give me a product and where parameter order is equal to 2, right? If this order is 2, then give me the a product table, and then I'm selecting the column dim product. So, and ultimately what I'm doing is I'm unioning these two tables together. So how does this work? So let's take example of if we have parameter order 1, which again going back, parameter order 1 is customer then product. It means my first parameter in my paginated report will list customers, right? So then this query will run, and let's look at the table customer variable. So if I run this, it gives me the list of all the customers, right? Because my parameter order is 1. But if I look at the table product, it would return nothing because we have this filter parameter order is equal to 2. In this case, parameter order is 1, and that's why this is not returning any row. So eventually I'm doing is I'm doing the union on these two tables together. So I will only get the list of table customer in this particular case. So if I run this, so I'm getting the customer table, right? Similarly, if my parameter order is 2, we have the same query here in this particular case, and what it will list now, it will list all the product. If I run this, hang on a second, if I run this, this is now listing all the products, not the customers, right? So this particular query in paginated report, depending on the parameter order the user has selected, will fill the first parameter in our paginated report with the value. Either it will be customer or will be product, depending on the parameter order they have selected. So this is the query. I just want to show you guys how this is going to get translated into the paginated report, right? So even in this case, if I change the parameter order to 2, and if we run the query, as you can see, it is returning the products. But if I run it, parameter order is 1, it is returning all the customers, right? So that's the first parameter which get filled based on this particular query. Now, second parameter, which in our paginated report is if the order is selected customer then product, it means what we need to see is in the first parameter, if the selection is the order is first, then it means the user has selected some customers, and then we're going to look into all the products which are sold to those customers, right? But if user has selected the order 2, then we're going to look into the first parameter which is going to show us all the products. So then we're going to take, okay, what are those customers to whom those products are sold, right? So that's the value of the second parameter. So how we're going to achieve that? I already have the query here, how we're going to do it. So in this particular case, I assumed the user has the parameter order 1 selected, and user has selected these 3 customers. For example, Aaron Adams, Aaron Alexander, and Aaron Allen. So it means my first parameter has shown all the customers. User selected these 3 customers out of that, and now the second parameter should show only those products which are sold to these 3 customers, right? So again, in Paginated Report, of course, the queries will look a little bit different, but the end result is going to be the same. So here I just, for the sake of walk through the process, I'm just explaining everything here in the DAX query. So assuming these are the customer user is selected, and of course parameter order 1 is selected. Again, the same thing we're going to do is we're going to first create the table customer, and now in this case our condition is going to be reverse, right? If parameter 1 order 1 is selected, it means in the second parameter we want to return the products, not the customer. So I'm putting that condition here. Give me all the customer which has some sales, and only when parameter order 2 is selected, because parameter order 2 again means that product then customer, right? So that's why we want it here. And I want the product only in the case. Now again, keep in mind we are filling the second parameter in the paginated report with the product in this case. So what we're saying is, okay, if our order is selected number 1, it means our second parameter is going to be a customer, and then I'm saying, okay, give me all the products and filter for the customers which are selected. Again, this is a DAX query. In Power BI, this is going to be RS custom DAX filter function in Paginated Report, and then only those product which has some sales, and then I'm checking the condition that user has selected parameter order 1. So how does this work? If I run this, so we have a parameter order 1, these are the customers selected, and if you look at the table product, just for the sake of testing it, nothing should return, right? Because in this case, if our parameter order selection is 1, we don't want the customers to be returned. We just want the products to be returned only for those selected customers, right? So in this particular case, the table customer, which is this particular code, did not return any row. And for this one, I want the product to be returned. So if we look at run it again just for the table product, and I run it, so now it returns whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 products which are sold to these 3 selected customers. So now my second parameter will be have these 6 value for user to select, right? So this is what my second parameter would look like. But if user has selected other way around, user has selected, okay, parameter value first product then customer, it means now again I have another sample code here. What I've done is, okay, assuming user has selected these 3 products, and of course our parameter order is 2 in this case. So now we want to return the customers and no products, right? So that's what this condition is doing. And if you look at their table, customer should return. So here is whatever number of customers it returned. So it means these customer has some sales of these 3 products, and my table product should not return anything in this particular case. So I'm just going to uncheck that and then to run it. And of course this table product is not returning anything. And now if I union this together, so I will get only customers, right? And in this particular example, if my parameter order selection is 1, and my union would return only the products, right? So that's what we are doing here. So that's pretty much it. So that's kind of the theory behind this, how to switching the values between parameter 1 and parameter 2. How does this all translate into Power BI in Paginated Report? So pretty simple stuff. And let me bring the Paginated Report here. So again, going back to Paginated Report, of course, the syntax is a little bit different because we are using RS custom DAX filter in Paginated Report. So again, I have I created a new data set so-called query in Paginated Report, which is first is parameter select order. Again, that query is the same query which I showed you in Power BI, that is this one. It's returning 2 columns and 2 rows. So that is this particular query. And then what I'm doing is I created a parameter which is called parameter order. If you look at the property of this is the available values are coming from that parameter select order table, which is this one, and the parameter value is the value field, which is 1 and 2, and the parameter label is what it shows on the drop down, right? So that's kind of what my first parameter is. Now the select first parameter value, depending on it's going to be customer or product. Again, that is the parameter first. I created a data set, so-called query, and again the same thing. First up, I'm getting the parameter order. Again, I'm going to try to translate it back to what we saw in here. So that is my parameter order 1. Right here I give the fixed value, but in Paginated Report user has selected whatever the value is selected, we're storing in parameter order. And then I'm going to go table customer, same query which I ran in index, and then also then table product, and union it together to get the list for our first parameter. And if you look at our first parameter, what I've done here is available values coming from the table called parameter first. The label is what the label is, the values, and the label field is values as well. So that's kind of what my now first parameter. It will switch between product and customer depending on what order user has selected. And my second parameter, of course, is now connected to the second dataset query. And again, the same thing. First we get the parameter order, and then we're getting all the customers. Now here, instead of in Paginated Report, you have RS custom text filter. So what we're doing is we are taking the first parameter value and checking is the product, and if the selection is done other way around, then we're checking the customer against the customer table. So pretty much what I'm doing here is let's go back to Paginated Report, in Power BI. So basically this is RS custom text filter in Paginated Report, and rest is still the same, right? Instead of customer filter here, it is RS custom text filter. That is kind of what is in Paginated Report. So, and that's pretty much it, right? What we have done here. And now when we go back to Paginated Report, my second parameter is connected to the default value, a table called dataset called parameter second, and the name is of the column is the same parameter label. So that's what will show up. So how does this translate? Let's first look into this. Is it working or not working? So if I run the Paginated Report here, so what we have here is a first select a value, customer then product, and or product then customer. So let's say I select customer then product. So if I select this, so my first parameter should show customers, right? So now I'm seeing customers, which is great. But let's switch it. I'm gonna product then customer. So what it is doing is now this particular parameter is showing the products, not the customers, right? It's switching between depending on the selection. And that's why we have a union in the query, because we are only linking this first parameter value with one data set only. So that data set is returning depending on what selection has been made in the parameter order. So let's go customer then product, and quickly let's select Aaron Adams, Aaron Alexander, Aaron Allen, 3 customer. So now this should show us the products which are sold to these customers, right? So that's now this is showing me the products. It's the same what we saw in Power BI desktop, 6 products. So that's what it is. So this list will change. First of all, this list will change based on the customer selected. Second, this list will also change depending on what the sort order, the parameter order we have selected, customer then product or product then customer. So now from here onward, we will pass these values to our data set, which will finally show us the report. But let's check again product then customer. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to select, let's say, adjustable race all purpose by extend, and now this parameter should show customer who purchased these 2 products. So here you go. Now this parameter has switched to customer, right? So they are switching based on the parameter order. So this is So far so good. So now until this point, what we have done is we able to dynamically change the parameter 1 and 2 parameter value, first parameter and second parameter value based on the sort order. The last thing what we need to do is the query, which is actually returning the sales data in this particular demo. We have to do some work there as well, because we don't know what the first parameter value is going to be. Is it a customer or product? And the second is a product or customer, right? That getting dynamically changed. It means we have to have our sales query, which actually is the output we use in our report, should also filter the tables accordingly. So what I've done in there, just to quickly show, it's not complex, but that's let me actually bring it to DAX query. It's easy to read it through here. So what I have, of course, parameter order, which is just what we have selected. So what I'm creating a table 1. So I'm saying, okay, so I'm always returning customer and product, and then I'm filtering customer, and second is product, right? If my parameter order is 1, I know my first parameter is customer and my second parameter is product, right? That's for sure. That's how our sort parameters are working. So that is in case of parameter order is 1, I'm passing this is how I'm passing my first parameter, checking which table to filter based on the first parameter. In this particular case, I'm filtering customer for the first parameter, and for second parameter I'm filtering product. Also, I'm doing the table 2 because we don't know what the selection is going to be. In table 2, what I'm doing is same summarize column, customer and product, and then I'm saying in this particular case, I know if my sort order is selected second, which is I'm checking is it a second one selected, then I know my first parameter, second parameter is going to be customer, my first parameter is going to be product. So I already know. So basically what is going to happen is, based on the order selected, either this table will get return rows or this table will get return rows, right? That's the first thing. And second thing, they're gonna filter which parameter value filter which table. Does the first parameter filter customer or the second parameter filter the customer? Is it first parameter filter the product or the second parameter filter the product? So we are making the decision here, running 2 queries based on the parameter orders, and then I'm uniting those 2 together. So that's working great. So one thing I just want to point out, the very important part in this one is, when I wrote this query, I don't remember what challenges I were running into. You might come back to this. Hey, let me just explain. We have only 3 parameter order, parameter first, and parameter second, right? So in Paginated Report, we have only 3 parameters. But if you look at the DAX query, this is the important part I really want to explain. If we look at the DAX query for the sales, which is the final output table used for the report, there is a one parameter called parameter first customer, and then I also have a parameter second product, parameter second customer. Let me list it down what these are. Parameter first, I have this parameter first product, and then I also have a parameter second customer, and then I also have a parameter first product, right? That's kind of what it is. So this is when the sort parameter order is selected equal to 1, and this is when order is selected 2, right? But the question will come, I know after this video, if I don't explain it here, hey, where are these parameters? We don't see it anywhere in the Paginated Report. What are you referring to? Parameter first customer, parameter second product, blah blah blah. Like, where are these parameters? These parameters, when I went to the DS sales, when I created this query, dataset property, if you go to parameters, so because in each query you have to assign the parameters. So parameter order is a parameter. This parameter name for this query is what is the actual report level parameter, right? So parameter order is a parameter order. So parameter first customer is parameter first, parameter second product is a parameter second. So similarly, I am assigning both first and second parameter to customer and product, right? I think there was some challenge that I couldn't use one, so I have to assign it multiple times. And in the DAX query, then I'm depending on parameter order 1 or 2 is being used, then I'm using those particular, like when the parameter order is 1 is used, then my first parameter is of course customer and second is product. When order 2 is used, my first parameter is a product and the second parameter is a customer, right? So that's what I just gave the name so that I can identify what these are. So this is where I have, so basically within the query, in the dataset query, I'm assigning the name. Whatever the report level name can be completely different than what the my parameter names are within that query. If you didn't know that before, now you know that these are report level parameters which we defined, but in the data set level or the query level parameter can be completely named. I can call it customer, but map it to the report level parameter. Maybe that's called something completely different. So that's what those parameters names are. Maybe if you're surprised, where are these coming from? So anyhow, end of the day, the result is now if I run this report, depending on what I have selected, my output of the report is still the same, right? The report output did not dynamically changed. That is still the same. The only thing in this particular video or in this demo is all about you want to switch between parameters, how you dynamically change that. But of course, you can also, based on this parameter order, you can also change the report grouping as well. Right now, this report is first customer and then showing product. If we really want it to be one level next, maybe I probably will do a video depending on how this parameter order is selected. We can also switch between, okay, the first will be product, the second grouping would be customer, and depending on how the parameter order has been selected. Well, I don't know if this is a common scenario, but end of the day, this question was, I was surprised this question was asked, and I thought like this is an interesting thing to do. And again, I really wanted to thank Angela to follow up with me and ask me for where is the video, if you have a solution for this. Here you go. We have a solution now, and hopefully you will find it useful, or maybe it will come handy. I know it's not that straightforward, because if you have more than 2 parameters, it will become a lot of things you have to check. But if you really need to do this, there is a way to do it, depending how critical or important it is for you. But I hope you learned something out of this. Again, thank you. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll bring some more videos in the coming days. Until next video, have a great day. Bye now.